Welcome to Reds Fusion LFC, where Liverpool are sending shockwaves through world football once again. A sensational €100 million bid for the most in-demand winger, the final word over Marc Guehi, and Arne Slot silencing every doubter with actions, not talk. Add to that a historic rise in the Football Money League 2026 as rivals crumble, and the message is crystal clear. Liverpool are building something special. Strap in, Reds. This is power, ambition, and dominance in full flow. Liverpool to make a €100 million bid for world's most in-demand winger, as the Reds get the last laugh over Guehi. Liverpool are preparing a concrete €100 million bid to sign RB Leipzig's Yan Diamonde, while the Reds have had the last laugh over Marc Guehi, and Jurgen Klopp has spoken about returning to management with Real Madrid. Diamonde, 19, is fast emerging as a genuine transfer target for many a giant side, though according to a report, it's Anfield where his future could lay. Yan Diamonde. RB Leipzig paid just €20 million when signing the right-footed winger from Spanish side Leganés last summer. He's returned figures of 7 goals and 4 assists in just 1,161 minutes of action this term, meaning he's providing a goal contribution roughly once every 100 minutes. Those are extraordinary numbers for a teenager, and numerous high-profile sides have taken note. Tottenham have already failed with an audacious move this month, while Manchester United have been confirmed as a keen admirer by Fabrizio Romano. However, Diamonde's dream, according to the player himself, is to sign and play for Liverpool. And according to the latest from Court Offside, Liverpool could make that dream a reality in the summer when bidding €100 million, £87 million. Diamonde's deal in Leipzig does not contain a release clause, and per the report, they've informed interested parties the bidding must begin at €100 million. The Reds don't intend to mess around and plan to thunder in at that exact price point per the report. Aside from Spurs and Man United, Court Offside noted Chelsea, Arsenal, PSG and Bayern Munich are all hovering too. But for now at least, Liverpool are at the front of the queue and intend to act on their interest. Marc Guehi. Many a Liverpool fan are dismayed at their club missing out on Marc Guehi, but if the eye-watering numbers in the deal are anything to go by, the Reds have had the last laugh and made the right call when steering clear. Liverpool had everything agreed and in place to land Guehi last summer, only to see the move fall through on deadline day after Crystal Palace failed to sign an adequate replacement in time. Liverpool intended to snap Guehi up at the second time of asking when he would have become a free agent next summer. Man City had other ideas. Of Guehi's many suitors, City were the only ones willing to bid for the defender this month. The $20 million transfer fee doing the rounds in the media certainly suggested Pep Guardiola's side had pulled off a masterful move. However, The Athletic's James Pearce has revealed the shocking true cost of City's swoop, with the final number set to hit around £125 million. The $20 million transfer fee only tells one part of the story, with add-ons eventually taking that number up to £30 million. Regarding salary, Guehi will pocket £300,000 a week throughout his 5.5-year deal. In total, Guehi's salary will cost Man City £88.8 million. Furthermore, City are understood to have committed to an unusually high agent's commission to ensure a deal was made.
Liverpool make mockery of Arne Slot suggestions as clear full-time message sent. The Paul Gorst verdict from the Orange Velodrome as Arne Slot and Liverpool respond to the disappointing Premier League draw with Burnley by beating Marseille 3-0 in the Champions League. In many ways, Arne Slot is now confronted with the sort of scenario that he would have snatched hands off for at the beginning of Liverpool's Champions League quest. Beat Qarabağ at Anfield and secure qualification to the last 16. Much like their Premier League campaign, the Reds are now into the top 4 once more, and victory against the unfancied Azerbaijan side in their final group game next week will seal qualification to the knockout stage without any need for a tough and unnecessary two-legged affair next month. That, however the rest of an at times arduous European adventure is analyzed, must represent an achievement. This deserved 3-0 victory over Marseille was brimming with chances and will go down as Liverpool's most complete performance for some time. It might, in fact, represent the high watermark for this entire season to date, such has been their difficulty in rising above mediocre for much of this troubled term. It's been a curious time for the Reds in recent months, which has presented a succession of jarring juxtapositions that goes some way to explaining why there has been so much unrest and discord. They are the current Premier League champions who had only won half of their 32 games across all competitions before kickoff. They are now unbeaten in 13 games, but 6 of them have been draws. Mohamed Salah is the leading scorer of the 21st century who, in his own words, has been thrown under the bus by the club. The contrasts, wherever you look, have been startling. And it's easy to claim that the naysayers are confined only to the dark recesses of social media, but frustration was audible in real life on the terraces of Anfield on Saturday afternoon at full time of the 1-1 draw with Burnley. That, perhaps more than any other, has been the biggest sign of these unusual times. The Liverpool boss was, somewhat bizarrely, facing questions over Xabi Alonso taking his job in Tuesday night's press conference, but this was a performance from his team that made a mockery of the suggestion the Dutchman is nearing the end of the line on Merseyside. While performances and results, the Reds are without a league win in 2026, have undoubtedly been below par, this was not a display from a group of players no longer playing for their head coach, as they defended as a unit to secure a second successive European victory on the road after last month's 1-0 win at Inter. Liverpool thought they had the lead before the half-hour mark via Hugo Ekitike's 13th of the campaign, but the France international striker had strayed offside just before the tireless Dominic Szoboszlai had supplied the low ball into the area. Salah, on his first Red start since November, ruffled the roof of the net with an inventive finish before spurning 2 bigger opportunities in the second period. He is a player still searching for momentum, having been away from regular action for so long, but the team have missed him, no question.
Arne Slot singles out outstanding Liverpool star after Virgil van Dijk comments. Arne Slot and Virgil van Dijk agreed on the Liverpool player who was most important in the 3-0 Champions League victory over Marseille, which has the Reds in the top 5 of the league table. Liverpool manager Arne Slot made a point of emphasising one particular performance after Liverpool rolled past Marseille with a dominant 3-0 victory in the UEFA Champions League. Slot singled out defender Joe Gomez for special praise following a composed and commanding display at the back. "I saw a lot of individual performances tonight, but I would like to single out Joe Gomez," Slot said after the final whistle. "He has suffered a lot with injuries in the last few years, and I haven't picked him sometimes when he has been fit. Tonight he was outstanding and so important." Liverpool were already in control by half-time thanks to Dominic Szoboszlai's free kick, before an own goal and a late Cody Gakpo finish sealed an easy European night on the road. While front foot dominance was key, Gomez's influence was just as important. Team captain Virgil van Dijk reflected Slot's praise with his own, while also acknowledging Ibrahima Konaté's absence. "First and foremost, my thoughts are with Konaté, but I've played with Joe many times. It helps that we are very good friends as well. I think he was outstanding. The third goal, he was the one who started it all off." Gomez completed all 39 passes flawlessly, won all 3 duels, made 7 clearances and 2 interceptions, and dominated in the air by winning both aerial duels. In the first half alone, he registered 4 defensive contributions while staying composed under Marseille's limited pressure. The performance reignited online debate among supporters over whether Gomez should feature more regularly ahead of Konaté once everyone is fit. Fan responses ranged from calls for him to start more often to others highlighting concerns about his durability. Gomez suffered a patellar tendon rupture in November 2020 while training with England, which required surgery and sidelined him for more than 7 months. That included the Euro 2020 competition, which saw Italy defeat England on penalties in the final. A fractured leg in 2018 during a 3-1 win against Burnley forced another surgical recovery and kept Gomez out for over 4 months. Even earlier in his career, Gomez tore his right ACL while on England under-21 duty against Kazakhstan, ending his season just months after joining Liverpool. The minor hamstring issue sustained in mid-December against Brighton was the latest issue that kept him sidelined briefly this season. So far this season, Gomez has made 10 Premier League appearances and 2 Champions League outings, totaling 334 minutes across competitions with 2 assists.
Football Money League 2026. Liverpool make history with huge earnings as Man United tumble. Liverpool and Manchester United have different fortunes when it comes to their ranking in the Deloitte Football Money League. Liverpool made financial history with their spot in the Deloitte Football Money League, while Manchester United dropped dramatically in the rankings. In the 29th edition of the Money League, the top 20 highest revenue-generating football clubs for the 2024-25 season were revealed by the Deloitte Sports Business Group. The respective clubs made collective history after generating a record £100.4 billion, or €12 billion in revenue, for the first time. The mammoth figure marks an 11% figure in all 3 main revenue streams of commercial revenue, matchday revenue, and broadcast revenue, which increased from last season. The top 4 spots were dominated by several of Europe's footballing superpowers, with Real Madrid retaining their spot, having earned close to £1 billion, or €1.2 billion. The Spanish giants were followed closely by Barcelona, who generated £849 million, or €975 million, with Bayern Munich rounding out the top 3 with £750 million, or €861 million earned. Paris Saint-Germain are the lone Ligue 1 club on the entire list and rank 4th, with last year's revenue tipping the scales at £729 million, or €837 million. Next up are the reigning Premier League champions, as Liverpool became the highest revenue-generating English club for the first time, as they earned £728 million, or €836 million, following their historic title-winning campaign last year. The 2024-25 campaign proved to be a financially fruitful one for the Reds, whose increased revenue was also bolstered by their return to the UEFA Champions League. The club also saw a 7% increase in commercial revenue thanks to additional non-matchday events at Anfield. Music struck big at the iconic stadium, with the likes of Bruce Springsteen, Dua Lipa, and Lana Del Rey all performing at Anfield. Liverpool's financial success certainly wasn't matched by the Red Devils, who suffered quite the dramatic drop from 4th to 8th in the Money League after a historically bad campaign last season. United's revenue last year topped out at £691 million, or €793 million, but their broadcast revenue fell from £224 million, or €258 million, to £179 million, or €206 million, after missing out on European football entirely while finishing 15th in the Premier League, the club's worst domestic campaign in 35 years. The list was dominated by English clubs, with 9 top-flight sides making the cut. Liverpool were followed by Manchester City, who dropped 4 places to 6th, with their revenue falling to £722 million, or €829 million, as their side suffered an unusually early Champions League exit as they were knocked out in the knockout phase playoffs while finishing 3rd domestically, their lowest position since the Spaniards' arrival a decade ago. 4 Premier League clubs were ranked from 7th to 10th, as Arsenal's earnings of £722 million, or €821 million, left them closely behind. After United, it's Tottenham Hotspur who sit 9th, as they generated £585 million, or €672 million, despite a 17th place finish, but did end their 17-year trophy drought by winning the Europa League.